right, y'all. It is Tuesday, 8 o'clock p.m., and it's time for Earl Grey Tuesday. And as always, it's me, it's that VINCE. Now, I know Big Lenny's live stream is going to be running for a couple more minutes here. So probably people will be dropping back in, but folks, let me start off by saying, you remember when I said that YouTube was just cracking down on everybody and stuff like that? The minute I actually started this live stream, YouTube flagged my video. I kid you not. I started the live stream and 2 minutes later I get an alert there saying that my live stream's flagged. And I'm using copyright-free music too, so I'm not sure what's going on with that, but that's the way it's been so far, folks. So, as usual, because it is Earl Grey Tuesday, I always have my tea Earl Grey. And I actually dug up this stone cup there. Keeps things warm. I have the next hour, of course, I'm going to have myself a nice Dominican roll cigar, and I got a Cafe Americano over there. No, this ain't VKVDM's. He can't do that. Only YouTube's been just doing stuff like that for a while. So, folks, tell me what y'all are drinking and smoking tonight there on this fine Tuesday. And I know you guys want to discuss old Amon guy about his IBA gain and stuff like that. We'll go over that as well as a lot of other things, But tell me out there what you're drinking and smoking. Pepsi Max. All right. You got the 16 or the 20 ounce here? Oh, forgot to turn this off here. That's just an order coming in, so let me turn off my email. Yeah, I know Lenny was live. I was actually watching his live stream before I came on. I could have actually missed it there. 3:30 a.m. Okay. Gotcha on that here. About 6 people in here, so let's talk about the big news, the old murder charge and everything. Yes, Charlie, that's what I was running on the midnight run Friday because my computer was cutting out. The reason being is because I got dual screens and I was trying to have both of them running at the same time. And that just ain't gonna fly, Rob P with the $1.99 donation here. My thoughts on that is it's just wild there, I mean, it's wild, man. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, folks. I mean, it's crazy. It sort of reminds me of that movie Death Wish. There would be the best way to describe it there, somewhat there. The guy went, pulled out a gun, wanted to rob the place. Guy got put down like the dog he was. And all of a sudden, these liberal activists, as usual, are trying to protest. Well, they're. And the thing about it is this here, when you go and decide to commit a criminal act, you never know what you're going to encounter when you pull a gun and starts pointing it at anyone, You need to be on your best behavior, period, You just can't go and, go rob places here. So they can protest all he wants here, but you know, the attorney general's already made it clear that it was a justified shooting, so they're just gonna have to deal with it. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is here. I mean, I've not really ever spoken about him. There's a lot of wackos in the bodybuilding industry. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. There's a bunch of them there. But the ibogaine, the one thing that surprised me is the ibogaine. You know, that's used for psychotherapy, so I have no clue as to why he would use that on one of his clients. I'm just assuming that the murder case is on one of his clients here, because that's not something, I can't think of any reason to actually have that, you know. Can't think of no reason at all. As far as what's going to happen to him, I think it's going to end up like that Michael Jackson Dr. Murray case. He's not going to do much time. He'll probably do a couple of years, maybe 5 years at most there for that, because he'll probably end up pleading guilty and get a reduced sentence here. Unless, I mean, because they would have to prove that it was egregious there, you know. And, you know, this is like just administrating dangerous medicine here. It's not like that person, like Amin, went and shoved it down her throat or excuse me, the person's throat. Got to be careful with those pronouns these days. Hey, Gilmore. Kind of tired there. I went to the gym around 1 o'clock there and got a good workout in. I think I went a little too far, you know. But I'm not all busted up like old Richard or anything like that. And then just had a bunch of work to do. But it's just a typical Tuesday. Also a lot of orders. I didn't get any. I only got like one order on Martin Luther King Day. Which is what was expected there. But what irritates me on any type of federal holiday, not the fact that, you know, it is Martin Luther King after all, you know, the civil rights leader. I'm not pissing on that or anything like that. It's just that banks don't operate on Mondays, and I have over $1,000 in deposits that I need to get in order to, as far as processing orders. Actually, it's probably up to $1,500 at this point in time. So I got to get my cash here, you know. But it should be in the bank tomorrow, though. But that's how my day's been going. I need to go write a new ad for SafeLink Wireless, and I need to write one for a $1,500 rental assistance ad of some type there. I'll check the report and see what I need to get done. But just another busy day. How do I handle regrets? You just got to live with them. The way I handle regrets is, you know, I take any type of regrets there, and if it's a mistake that I've made in life there, then I make sure that it doesn't happen. But, you know, you have to also come to mind that there are some things that you can't do, in other words, and you have to acknowledge that. Like, for example, you know, I wish I went to a different college other than ITT Tech there. I didn't know they were a bunch of scam artists. I would have picked a different college there, in which case. Nothing I can do about it now. But that's just one of the things. You have to handle regrets with solitude and just simply not make the same mistake twice. I mean, let's put it this way. Everyone is going to lose money to a scam artist there. You know, someone's going to get robbed. You know, you're going to get a bad deal. You're going to get a funky product. But you just got to deal with it, you know. That's the way life is. Susan, we did speak on Friday about Baroni, but there's more information in. I mean, the murder was kind of brutal there, just to say the least. There, I can't even fathom that. But that's a lot of people are going to attribute that to roid rage, regardless. Well, protein bra. Everyone wishes they can go back in time. I wish I can go back in time and do a whole bunch of things here, and made a sales career, moved to maybe Dallas. Would have been making like $200,000-$300,000 a year easy. Can't do that, Just take the time that you have left in your life, however much it is, and try to do as much of the stuff that you haven't done yet, because I'm sure there's a lot of things that you haven't accomplished. Yep, I'm doing my full body workout 3 times a week. What is up with Jason Blaha? I had given an explanation about that. He's moving to Facebook there. He's doing more work on Facebook. But he's getting trolled a bunch, which deservedly show there, Hemingway has a special thing with people. But as far as VKV is concerned, he's been going after me for the past couple of months, and I finally decided to respond to him. I put him in the same category as conservative Cuban there. And I still say he lives in the van there because his life revolves around the van. It doesn't matter what properties he has. I have properties,
Are you joining Hustlers University?
Speak of the devil here. VKVDM with the $3 donation there. Who may or may not be him there. Whoever it is, I definitely appreciate the donation. But no, I'm not joining Hustlers University whatsoever. I think for the most part it's a scam course there. But more power to Andrew Tate if he can get some people. It's like P.T. Barnum used to say, there's a sucker that's born every minute. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is here. So. But again, thanks for the donation here. No, I'm not defending Blaha's channel at all there whatsoever. And you guys have seen my videos over the years as far as how hard I've gone on to Blaha. If I had gone any other harder, he would have been bleeding. I would have had to wipe, I would have had to nut, just saying, I'm just explaining the basics. You guys know me. I'm always a straight shooter, and if something's happening, there's no need to sugarcoat it there, I mean, guys, you got, I literally played that audio recording there, and stuff, so. Well, we can't make accusations like that there, Susan. When you call someone a pedophile, that's something pretty serious there, That's not something you could really dance over there, Just saying. I'd rather school him on the merits of what I know about him and what I've heard about him, But quite frankly, it's like conservative Cuban. Everyone seems to be on my case there for some reason whatsoever. And they report under these channels that I usually don't go to. Conservative with Instagram, VKV on Rumble and stuff. The great one doesn't have time for malarkey such as this here, I've addressed him. He knows what I'm all about now. And I'm going to leave him in his van where he belongs. You're 21? Well, my God, protein bra, you shouldn't have any regrets there. But one thing, if you have, I'm sure that you have a lot of goals. You need to start seeking them out right now, Steve, you look good on your 6'4" program. Well, you always gotta mix around your training there. I'm doing a full body right now, but in a couple of weeks I'll go back to splits and stuff like that. You know, I have to rotate my workout plan. Yeah, YouTube is taking more money out of donations, or they take money out of videos and stuff. And yes, that's why people need to understand that YouTube is not a viable source of revenue. They take out a lot of money. That's also why I went to Streamlabs here. You know, they're supposed to only take 30%, but they've been taking 60%. I'm not even worried about it at this point. Yeah, Blaha moved to Facebook. He's still going to post videos probably on YouTube, but you know, a lot of people are now moving to Facebook there, and I've actually cut out some of my Google advertising, and I'm moving my advertising over to Facebook as well. You know, got to jump ship while I can, and Zuckerberg's giving good discounts on advertising for my businesses. So the sound effect is way. I didn't know. I don't know if there is a volume adjustment on it. But you know, it's always good for when someone donates there to where they get a big old sound and a big graphic there. I think that's awesome there. You know, so. No, he is a creepy fella, but you know, being creepy and being called once you go to the pedophile wording there, you know, I get kind of squeamish on that there. I don't ever want to go and accuse someone of being a pedophile unless he's tried and convicted of being a pedophile. That's some serious stuff right there, you know. Kaizen, Hustlers University, as far as that's concerned, there's a lot of things that people get hustled out of. Lately, people are getting hustled out of drop shipping businesses and stuff like that, and click funnels there. That's the word of the day, essentially, to where it's so easy to do and you can make so much money. Truth of the matter is, I've been doing my drop shipping is something I've been doing for over 20 years. 90% of my business is drop shipping, 10%, and I'm just talking e-commerce site wise. 90% of my e-commerce business is drop shipping with long-time suppliers that other people don't have access to, by the way. And drop shipping, if you've been in it long enough and if you do it right, you can make a decent amount of money, but you're not going to be making millions. And definitely not the way these con artists are actually doing. Hey, P for P. Hope you're doing well. Yep, be sure to smash that like button there. So, Andrew, you doing a little bit of patrolling right now? Okay. Well, stay safe out there. Yeah, whenever I did security work and when I worked at the detention center, you know, coffee is my friend. Still is my friend. Of course, I got my Earl Grey right now, and I'm about to hit the cigar, so, in just a minute, so. Yeah, Lenny gets cheated out of flank steak amongst everyone. I use YouTube for advertising purposes at this point in time. I actually have 2 other channels that I'm actually building, but they're non-mint site. One is going to be for selling cellular phones and going over cell news. The other one is network marketing. The other one, what was that one going to be? That's one of them. But yeah, everyone's getting cheated. What's up, Dom? Welcome to the show here. I know y'all were over at Big Lenny's here, and I think he's done got off now. I hadn't checked, but usually his live streams last about an hour. I was over there too, so. But glad you're here. Barbell, you know, I've tried to check on these people itself there, but I've not got any real responses. On that, none of them have actually responded to me, so he can post whatever. I mean, we know Hemingway like everyone else here. Joel, you can't hear me? The mic is up just fine. I can see the mixer and everything. Uh, is anyone else out there having some volume issues or so? Just let me know in the comments below. Hey, Raul, glad you can join me. Favorite homosexual. Oh, Lenny is still alive. Okay. I mean's gonna be in some real big trouble. I'm just confused over the Ibocaine. Of all things, there Ibocaine. I can't think of any reason to use that type of stuff. I'll have to ask Dave about it, or have to watch RX Muscle to see if someone commented about it. But he's in deep doo doo, that's for sure. Did I ever see Blaha shake on his lives? A couple times there. How many pull-ups can I perform? Maybe like 10 of them there, but I don't really do pull-ups anymore. They're, without weight I can do 10. If I do weighted ones there, maybe 3 or 4. But I use my GR8 Flex pull-ups. It works the back a lot more, and I'll do about 40 or 50 of those. It's better to do it at a low weight as far as pull-ups are concerned. No, I've never done a cruise.
Do you sell lifting straps? My hands hurt bad. Arthritis?
But my brother has, and most of my other family has here. Oh, Vince Godrum has donated $10 here. Do I sell lifting straps? I'm redoing the Caliber Gym site at calibergym.com, but so right now I don't have any lifting straps. I've actually taken, the site is still active, but I'm not running any advertisements here. Let's take a look and see, actually. Lifting straps. Oh, that's right. I do actually have. I have Body Solid lifting straps, but I have not put that up yet because I just recently started back my Body Solid account. But again, I can send you an invoice on that if you wish. Just email me at vince@caliberfitness.com. But again, thanks again for the $10 donation. You always take good care of me here, so. Let's see. Barefoot shoes for squats and calf training. Some people actually swear by that, that it helps build their calves there. As long as the surface is clean and, it's perfectly fine. I'm not going to, in a gym, I'm not going to lift barefooted because, that puts you at risk of any fungal infections there or anything like that. So I don't recommend it, but if you are going to do it, make sure that your surface that you're training on is clean. Big money, I'm not sure what you're referring to, whether it's donations or what I was mentioning about those scam artists with their fake businesses on YouTube there, but you'll have to be more specific on it. Oh, he's trolling, huh? So. And I'm glad y'all can hear me loud and clear. And I'm glad it's not freezing up. I think I've pretty much got to the cause of that there. But if it messes up again, remember I still got I got Streamlabs on mobile. Yeah, ibogaine. Like I said, that's what I'm That's what I'm very confused over. Why would an athlete use something like? Why would a trainer use something like that? It's just crazy. And Michael, yeah, I've gotten a response from him. He's actually posted a video. I call it ibogaine, sort of like Rogaine, but it doesn't make a difference. There's a lot of ways to pronounce different things here, so I mean I can call it IBO gain, or something, or IBO vegan gains or something. But actually, it's for psychotherapy. It's something that a psychologist would use, but not a fitness coach. And it's a controlled substance too. So I don't even know how he got a hold of something like that to begin with. Some bodybuilders eat cream of wheat there because it has a high it's a gluten product there. And it's easy. One of the benefits of it there, and cream of wheat technically really is just gruel. It's easy to get a bunch of calories in with cream of wheat and any other.
What I notice anything strength and size from straps. Worth buying?
Alright, Vince Goodrum with the $100 donation here. Definitely appreciate that here. If you're going to be using straps there, I would use it for some really heavy things such as bent over rows, for example. I never would use it for pull-ups because you can get yourself injured. But I wouldn't rely too much on straps, because when you use straps, I've never used straps before. As far as my competition time, I used them back in the late 90s whenever I was getting started. But I found that by using straps, I wasn't building my grip strength. Not only that, it's the same with gloves. I can understand if someone is a doctor or so forth, but I prefer to have calluses on my hands for grip rather than gloves. I will use gloves if I have a cut or something on my hand or so forth, but other than that, gloves are perfectly fine, but I wouldn't depend so much on straps. But if you're going to get some straps, get some Harbingers. Or either that or what's that? I can't think of that other brand. Shtick or something like that. I hadn't even been drinking. Why can't I think of that stuff? But again, thanks again for the donation. You're always taking good care of me, man. I'll tell you what, there. So. Quick pump. I've already made videos with the GR8 Flex. You have to go back through my channel. I made a number of exercises, definitely including the pull-ups there. That's one of the most common exercises on Total Gyms and Great Flex machines. I have about 15 different videos actually on that. Yeah, Vegan Gains is still alive. Andrew, I'll meet up with anyone there out in the open there in a crowded area. Make sure I'm not running into any wackos. Well, Jasmine is looking big, but I heard that they were going to start on a weight loss plan from what I understand. Prince Harry didn't write that in his book. What are you talking about? Come on, man. What is my hair treatment of choice? I don't have any hair. Man, I wouldn't use Rogaine. Like I said, if I was naturally losing my hair, why go and waste money on trying to get back something that God meant to take away from me, you know? And besides, I look a whole lot better bald. Bald is beautiful, you know. It's just beautiful. I actually got straps on my bed, actually, just to let you know. There are straps and handcuffs. Just kidding. Bro, teen, sometimes I try to send donations to myself there, and that way it gets other people to donate. That, come on, really? Is there a way to turn down the donation sound? No, there isn't. There's no volume control on something like that. Hmm. Yeah, straps are good in particular applications such as bent over rows, but you know, the thing about it is that I wouldn't try to depend on it too much there. Because bent over rows are specific for the back there, you know. Uh, the only thing I have issue with when it comes to straps is that it does affect your grip strength there. But if you're as long as you're if you're using straps, then make sure you're doing things like things that'll train your forearms, and make sure that you know you can get those captains of crunch. I used to play with those a bunch. I can close only number one. That's about it there. So, but the captains of crunch, you know, they're definitely great for building grip strength. So. But I have those. I have also some little hand grips as well that I used to use. I still got them in there, and occasionally I use them if I feel that my grip needs a little extra work. Well, I've already addressed it there. Like I said, he's like VKV is pretty much another conservative Cuban, you know, and he tries to put in names such as mine in order to build up his channel, you know. No, he couldn't beat me in a fight there. But again, it's always best just to avoid them. Fighting doesn't solve anything. Well, they do get out on that. Vegan Gangs and Jasmine, they do get out on their motorcycles, and I think Jasmine has a car, so they have to get out to get food and stuff like that. So, but I don't see why they would be scared of the flu. If their vegan diet is also great, then they shouldn't have to worry about the flu. No, you know, quick pump, I wouldn't at a posing routine. I did have a Jerry curl at one time, but that was a style back in the mid 90s. The Atlanta perm, but it wasn't a Jerry curl like you would normally see, the big wavy ones from the 70s. But yeah, I had a Jerry curl at one time. Jasmine is a woman, you know. I know it's hard to believe, but yep, she's a woman. Uh, Andrew Tate lives and thrives on the press there, so Now that he's caught in that situation, the press is all over him. So he's basically getting what he wants here, you know. Some people want the spotlight, and Andrew Tate wants a spotlight, and he's going to get the spotlight. If there's a volume setting, I'm not going to fool with it there, you know. I like it just fine, to be honest with you. You'll just have to live with it. But as far as I know, I've never seen a volume switch. The alert box isn't even controlled from the Streamlabs application. It's actually controlled directly off the website. I didn't hear the after hours show, Scatman, but Romano's right there, you know. I mean, football players can discuss football matters, bodybuilders about bodybuilding, so, you know, that's relative. Anyone can discuss football, anyone can discuss bodybuilding. But that's one of those episodes I have to catch up on while I'm working. Usually I try to play catch up on the days I'm actually working. Now that I got the dual screen, it's going to be a lot easier for me to do. The Czech language is very difficult. I mean, it's, you know, learning to speak any Czech, Russian, or anything like that, it's a very difficult language. English, on the other hand, is a very easy language to learn, you know. Surprisingly enough, it's easy. The hardest language that's actually out there is going to be Japanese. Not, and the reason being is I can understand a little Japanese here, just slightly because I watch so much anime. But the thing about the Japanese language, it's not just based on so much as words or letters or anything like that. You know, it's also emotion as well. So it's kind of weird. That's what makes Japanese and Chinese hard to understand, because the speaking, depending on the type of emotion, can mean completely different things. It's scary. Oh, everyone else can mute and adjust Streamlabs? I didn't know that there. You know, I've never seen it being louder, but I've never actually seen I've never seen a volume button on it, because the volume mainly comes from my microphone. So, but Pugman, again, always thanks for the donations there. Glad to see you here tonight. Hope you're doing well. So. Mandarin is Chinese, essentially. Yeah, any type of Asian languages are the hardest. Mm. I was never scared of the coronavirus there whatsoever. I mean, I was still partying during that time when they had the restaurants and stuff open. There's one video that I did have up here 2 years ago where I was on the rooftop of Ink and Ivory, and it was super crowded, and it was like May of 2020, right in the middle of it. But you have to remember, I'm in South Carolina, and that's one of the things I like about this state. You know, Governor McMaster's isn't going to try to shut down businesses and stuff like that. So I was able to continue with things. Eventually, the feds actually shut down the businesses and stuff. But McMaster's, you know, that's why our businesses still continued to run long after most other ones closed, until finally the feds went and messed things up. But at least I managed to party a little bit before that happened. So. Look, I'm not a big expert at Streamlabs here. Like I said, I've only been using Streamlabs for a month there. There's a bunch of little control thingamajigs there, you know. I'm an expert at e-commerce software as well as WordPress, but any type of video or media, you know, even Big Lenny probably has more knowledge on doing media videos than I do. It's just something I don't really concentrate too much on. But the truth of the matter is, maybe I really should, so. But at this point in time, if there's a volume button, I don't know where it is, so. Yeah, I agree with you, Ice Monkey. Yeah, they go way back in history. But I found some of the most of it is based on also emotion, so it's hard to actually mix it. You know, like the English language, all you got to do for the most part is know the pronunciation as far as to how they sound, and then combine them with words, and that's it. Japanese and Chinese, oh, a whole lot more than that. Pugman, I only take showers. However, if I'm at the sports club, I'm going to hop into the hot tub. Usually, my habit is I go to the hot tub, I'll soak in there for 15 minutes, and then I'll go in the sauna. I'll stay in there for 20 minutes. Sometimes I will use a steam room. And yes, sometimes I do swim as well. So I do all of that. That's another thing why I like the sports club. There's an indoor swimming pool, there's a hot tub, there's a steam room, there's a sauna, there's a massage place, you know, there's even an urgent care in there. So it's got everything. But I don't really take baths, not the conventional ones. I prefer showers. It saves on water as well. Good question, though. Steam room is bad for me? No, it isn't. Why would it be bad for you? It's just, it's steam, it's water. You'll have to explain that to me, Joel. Now, I've been in the steam room a bunch of times there. I've never had any problems with it. Well, there's no baths, truth one, at the gym at all. There's just there's a hot tub, before you always get in any type of hot tub, you always want to take a shower first, just to get the sweat off there before getting into any hot tub. But there's no baths there. It's not. It's There's no Turkish bath. That's a New York thing. Yeah, they have it at the massage place. Does have it. They have light therapy and those weird rocks and stuff like that. The Swordfish does not have private rooms here. There is a section that it can be reserved off, but there's no VIP rooms or anything. When you come into Swordfish, pretty much everyone's an equal for the most part. I honestly have never spoke with Brad Castleberry before. Andrew, that's not allowed at any gym that I know, especially my gym. I have swim trunks and a towel. Well, just the swim trunks when I get in. I bring four things when I get into the hot tub. I bring my headset. My headset is my headphones are actually waterproof. I'll bring that. I will bring my towel, and I'll bring my phone. You know, that's it. I'm pretty much basic when it comes to it. Well, truth one, I guess, I suppose that a hot tub would be good for hemorrhoids here. Joel, Vegan Games has way more than 6 pets, I can tell you. Pugman, thanks again for the donation there. Well, if you want to join the sports club, that there's only 2 locations. There's one in Simpsonville, and of course there's one in Greenville. Cut it out, Susan. Cut it out. Well, you can bring your toaster with you there, Joel. However, I don't think you're gonna get the results that you want there. To be honest with you. Protein, I have a platinum card because it gives me a whole bunch of benefits here. Even with the annual rate of like $695, I save thousands of dollars by using that card. Actually, my annual fee is actually coming up next month. The Swordfish is not a private place to drink and hang out. Anyone can go to the Swordfish. You just have to make reservations. Well, when it comes to hemorrhoids, most of that is stress related, in my opinion. So I guess if you're in a relaxed position, such as a tub, for example, that would help your hemorrhoids. Actually, I've only used a wireless headset for maybe like 4 or 5 years. Beforehand, I actually used a pair of wired headphones here because they were cheaper. And back in 2000, I was using the cassette player actually. So now we're done with the Earl Grey. So what I have is a Cafe Americano. And what that is it's coffee. You take some espresso coffee, you make about 6 ounces, and then you fill the rest up with hot water. And that's a Cafe Americano. No cream or anything. And of course we got the cigar. Little mini one, of course, hand rolled Dominican. So purple flame time, people. Purple flame, purple flame, purple flame. Well, Scatman, you gotta make sure the pools and hot tubs always have to be chlorinated. Well, Blaha probably still has hair growing on his head, but just like me, probably not in the right places. I haven't had a Walkman in like 20 years. I just use my phone now to listen. I use my phone and I connect it to my Bluetooth headset, but I don't have AirPods, so I still look pretty old. Yes, Andrew, we're going 2 hours. I've made it a 2-hour show at this point, so you still got an hour and 12 minutes left. So. Well, yes, you're exactly correct, Scatman. But I wanted to stay a little bit hot. I wanted to hydrate my coffee a bit and spread it out. I didn't want to, because I make pretty strong coffee and it evens it out a lot better. The best way to save on car insurance definitely is to pay 6 months in advance. You'll always get a good rate on that. But the best thing is to not get in any accidents. Don't get any speeding tickets or anything like that. If you don't get into accidents or get in any speeding tickets or get points on your license, then your insurance will stay low. No, I've never seen a mugshot of Blaha. Well, whenever I have my Americanos, I don't put any milk or anything in it. I just drink it straight. Yeah, states actually vary. I'm in South Carolina, and insurance is probably the most highest. Is pretty high in this state, but it's not as high as New York or Los Angeles. Bustela, yeah, it is good stuff there, Snake, and I like espresso coffee. It's the only thing I could put in my mocha pot, and it saves money because if I'm putting it in a mocha pot, it's making a specific amount of coffee as opposed to one of those 12 cup coffee makers, and it makes a stronger cup there. So it takes me a while to go through it. How many calories I'm consuming daily? Probably about 2,000 calories a day. Hey Joel, how you doing there? I don't know what time is it in the UK, so hopefully you're not up too late there. Uh, but I've never been into the UK before, but never been. A Bucello Scatman is an espresso coffee. Mm. Kentucky Blue, yeah, I heard about that. I think Newsom was talking about giving $223,000 in reparations there. If that was the case, everybody in the United States that's black would automatically get just crowd into California. But the amount's actually $223,000. That will never pass. Yeah, sure, why not? Hey, Anarchy in the UK. Peace and soul. Hmm. Reading comments here. Hmm. Ah. Yeah, it's a good idea not to drink. I mean, I probably take a whole lot more milligrams of caffeine than you do, but But over the years, I probably have a higher tolerance level there. But if you're not used to it there, that's perfectly understandable. Coffee is something that's been part of my family all the time there, so. Oh, 2 a.m. Woo, boy. Speaking of which, I heard someone told me that the 2 a.m. vegan was back and he was back posting there, so I'll need to see what that's all about. He's been gone for like a month or two or so. Yeah, that's the problem, Kaizen. Reparations would come from tax dollars here, so you'd be literally paying yourself here. So. Why would you want to mix pills there, Raul? I mean, the purpose of pills is to make sure you swallow it. Just swallow the pills and then drink the water. You'll be all right with it, you know. Sardines out of a can. I used to do that on my security job. I would crack open some sardines. If you're gonna do that, make sure you have some bread or something, and maybe I used to have some. What I used to have is some crusty bread with the sardines, and then I may sometimes put a little tomato sauce on it. But it's good, cheap protein, that's for sure. Yeah, Arnold's had heart surgery, but that can also be he had some sort of defect that he was living with for many years, or if you want to believe that. In any event, he is pretty old as well, so he has the money to treat himself, so it's long as he's still alive, so he must be doing something right. I suppose I can do that, but it's probably going to be over 500, so. Oh, yeah, pesto and fish, yes, it's pretty good. I don't like saltines with sardines simply because, it doesn't soak up the oil. And the good thing about crusty bread is it soaks up the olive oil. Well, Dom, never say never. When I was doing security work, I was only getting paid $8 an hour. So I didn't really have much money. I had my apartment and everything. So, and sardines were pretty cheap. And they kept well. I didn't need to keep them in a cooler because I worked outside, so I didn't have no refrigerator or anything like that. So, you got to do what works. I mean, I could have carried a lunch pail with ice in it there, but it's just better with sardines. I'd keep about a couple of cans in there. I would keep a couple of cans of tuna. Uh, I didn't keep too much tuna in there because, at the same time, I didn't want to be lugging around or having to worry whether I had a can opener or not. So sardines was a good way for me to get that done. Yeah, I already spoke about Armin earlier on. He's in a lot of doo doo. Lamar, I think Richard charges $50 for a twerk. As far as I'm concerned, I don't twerk. That's something the young folks do. Well, Charlie, everything's going to crash pretty soon with the recession. So, yeah, it's going to eventually crash, and once it does, it'll be good to snatch up a home. Barbell, I would actually use both. Plate-loaded machines are just as good as free weights. In fact, I consider plate-loaded machines almost being free weights itself there. And the benefit of plate loaded machines is, you can hit a specific body part. So I'm pretty much 50-50 on that there. Good question, though. Yeah, jump tube. Sardines are pretty good for you. Omega 3s, plenty of protein. Best of all, it was cheap, 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 cheap. Well, Raul, it's Rich Piana stuff. Everything with him had to be strong. Uh, yeah, his pre workouts were insane. Yeah, exactly, Charlie. You can't afford the same level of health care as Arnold. Most people with his condition would die because they wouldn't be able to afford that type of surgery. Gym rat, I would never buy a hoodie for $200, but you have to remember, uh, a lot of people like want to buy Versace because it makes them look good. And I've spoken about this before. You know, spending a whole bunch of money on clothes make you look a lot poorer. You know, because wealthy people don't wear crap like that unless they're sponsored by the company. If you see a Kardashian wearing Versace, it's because they're paying her a salary. My mom fixed me Spam when I was a kid, but as an adult, I've not touched one can of Spam whatsoever. Well, Quick Pump, the WWE has not been sold as of yet. As far as I know, eventually it will be sold. But a lot of people are going to get pretty pissed if it gets sold to the Arabs. A lot of people are going to be pretty pissed. Yeah, my mom, Raul, made lots of mashed potatoes and meatloaf, and a lot of those foods that was fixed back in the 50s. Good old Southern food. And whenever the preacher was invited over to our house, that's when the fried chicken gets broken out there. It's a tradition in black churches there, folks, that, if if the pastor's going to be coming over your house, you got to fix fried chicken. And he always gets the first pick, and he always gets the big piece. Period. Good question, though. But I'm sure your mom, depending on how old your mom is, my mom fixed me stuff that she was fixed when she was a kid. And because my mom was from Seaboard, North Carolina, I was just fixed a lot of those 50s foods there. Well, Dom, he can make if he can make $200 off a hoodie, then that's good. I mean, look at Greg Doucette's book. He sells an ebook there for umpteen amount of dollars there, so they do it because they can get away with it. Hmm. Computer man, I like grilled cheese sandwiches. They're pretty good. But again, it's not something I eat often because I don't keep butter around and I don't keep cheese around neither. Those things do not occupy my refrigerator. Do I know anything about Blaha's pricing for his programs? I don't, but again, he needs to be careful as far as to what he is, how much money he's actually making or what he's reporting. Because if he's getting any type of disability from the U.S. government, it can get him in a lot of trouble. But a lot of times, most people can get away with that by, well, PayPal actually has to report it, but there's a number of ways that someone can pass money on to someone. But I don't know what he charges. I don't know if he actually has real clients or not. Well, Jim Rat, that's the way a lot of YouTube chats work. Vegan Gains doesn't answer a question unless you pay him. That's the way a lot of live streams work. They, people don't get money, answer questions unless they get paid for it. Or they'll just continue on with the show. That's why Richard actually reviews videos, because the benefit is it keeps him talking there, and it doesn't keep his chat silent until someone actually asks a question there, It's pretty easy for me to do, now, especially now that I have two monitors. If I wanted to, I can run something similar to Richard. I can go and just review videos on YouTube and just wait until someone pays me to ask a question. If someone doesn't pay me, I can just continue to review videos there, But yeah, that's the way a lot of channels work there. Unless you're a member or unless you give a donation, you don't get your question answered. But hey, I'm free to, I want to make sure I answer everyone's questions. There's other things I can do as far as revenue rise by selling products, recommending products like I did before on Amazon, It definitely doesn't make as much money as what Richard and YouTube does. But it's honest work in my opinion. And plus I run my websites and I run my affiliate accounts and, I'm going to be going back to work next month. So, I prefer to keep my chats pretty clean to where, all you guys can ask me whatever questions you have without having to deal with, well, if I want Melvin, or excuse me, if I want, if I want the great one, Vince, you can call me by my real name too. That's not a problem at all. But if you guys want to ask a question, feel free to do so. There's not any compensation needed for it there. It's good to get donations, but I don't want that to be the point of my channel to where I'm only doing this just to get a little cash out of people. That's kind of egregious. I don't think anyone should have to pay for questions there unless it's for psychology help there, as a paid professional. And there's a website up there to where you can actually get paid. You got Fiverr and you got other places to where you can do that, But that's in a professional manner. Charlie, no one should be touching any gear at all, to be honest with you. But especially someone that's young and still developing and they already still have their high testosterone level. But some people just can't help themselves. Well, Jumpsuit, at no point in time did I ever think that Vince McMahon would own NWA Wrestling. I remember back in the 80s when I saw Vince McMahon write on Georgia Championship Wrestling. I was like, what the F is going on? It started turning into a clown show. So, but it is possible that the Saudis can possibly buy it out there. Look at Rolando, that soccer player. Money, 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 money. Andrew, I've dated a lot of people that I've met at church. But those were women at the time. Why would I go and get on my knees, bro? Oh boy. Well, he presented off the prayer, you know. And then afterwards we ate, but there was no need to get down on our knees or anything like that. But that was that's a tradition there, you know. If the pastor was coming over your house, that's not just for black family. That's for white families too in the South. That's one of them Southern things, you know. Sometimes the pastor, you know, pastors weren't like Creflo Dollar or you know those TV televangelists or anything, you know. You know, my pastor at St. Paul Baptist Church, Reverend Roy Young, he worked as a janitor, you know. He worked as janitor and he ran a big church there. You know, drove around in an old car, you know, lived in a very small house there on Burton Street, you know. I mean, let me say that again. He was a janitor, okay? A janitor. He worked as a janitor. Any money that went to the church didn't go in his pockets. It went to benefit the community. He was a great man, that's for sure. And if he came over, you know, that's when the fried chicken came out there. One thing about my mom, Lamar, is my mom hated chitlins and cornbread. I mean, hated chitlins and any hog parts. Now, with that being said, you know, we would have ham, we would have bacon, but my mom hated chitlins. You know, definitely had cornbread. You know, but my mom hated chitlins and pig feet, and that's a good thing. You know, chitlins will stink up a house. Of course, you go to a fancy restaurant there. Let me tell you about this. You just reminded me. I went to this real fancy restaurant with this guy I was dating actually, and he tried to be all fancy and everything, and he saw something on the menu for tripe, and he didn't realize that was basically chitlins there. But oh well. I didn't crush or smack or anything like that. I just drove him home. He was a very boring person. You know, that's the importance of going out with people, so that way you know what their personality is. You know. But I dropped them all off, and then I think afterwards I went home and had a beer or something. Charlie, I think he is collecting a disability. I can't prove it or anything like that, but there's been a lot of conversations and indications to where, you know, he may be collecting it. Oh, he is back Okay, Angel. I'll check his latest videos here. I honestly think that he should be giving money to Vegan Gains here, but if Vegan Gains apparently doesn't have a problem with them posting videos, and it's not my business to get into Richard, so he's perfectly fine. I've made videos about how he should be paying them, but, you know, that's only an opinion whether, you know, but Richard's pretty much, from what I understand, has set the point to where he can do it, so I won't address the matter any further. Raul, I don't date people like that, you know. I really don't. I don't date Muslims. I was married to someone that was Wiccan, but I don't date Muslims. And it's nothing against any Muslims or anything like that. It's just simply the religion is pretty much says, gay stuff is a big no-no. So I've probably dated someone that was a Muslim or so forth, But I don't want to be some. I don't want to be some guy in a closet. I'm already out of the closet. I'm not going back in the closet. Period. So I don't want to be in a relationship to where I'm hidden from someone's parents or anything. Be a man about it. If you're banging men, you should be a man to your parents here and just man up. That's a lot of men in this conversation. It might be a. Never mind. Pugman, I got to go to the doctor in about a couple of months, but it's pretty low. I would say probably around the 200 range. Charlie, I've taken steroids before. I don't think that they're stupid at all. I think I would rather have someone take steroids than smoke marijuana or do coke or anything. Steroids are for the benefit of physical fitness here for the most part. That's what people use it for, is for health reasons there, to build muscle and to live a healthier life. Me personally, I think that people abuse them, but that level of abuse isn't just to get, people don't take steroids to get high. They take them just to be in shape, so. I was 22 years old whenever I took anything, but it wasn't Deca, it was Tren. Whenever I was on the gear, I was taking only Tren because it was easy for me to get my hands on, and that's what I sold. So I wanted to make sure the stuff that I got worked. So Tren is awesome. It's very harsh, but you put on some muscle real quick, that's for sure. Ole Anderson was a racist. He was a racist. I mean, and Ole is a very, and I've just about every podcast I've seen that's people working with him, they said he was an a-hole. That's why he's not in the WWE Hall of Fame there, because he was an a-hole to Vince McMahon. If you look at the Hall of Fame for the Four Horsemen, they got Barry Windham in it there. And everyone knows that the best version of the Four Horsemen was Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, and Ole Anderson. That was the best combination of the Four Horsemen. Barry Windham would have gotten into the WWE Hall of Fame even without the Four Horsemen, on his own merits alone. But that's what happens when you're a D. Mm. That's good Americano, that's for sure. But yeah, I really miss good old Southern wrestling. Now, my brother liked the WWF wrestling. I was more or less good old NWA, 12 o'clock noon, NWA wrestling came on. And then at 6 o'clock there, on the TBS Superstation, 6 p.m. till 8 o'clock p.m., some good old wrestling. Yes, sir. Scatman, he had passed away long before I had actually came out, so no. I've shopped at Whole Foods before, Pugman. But I actually prefer Aldi and Lidl because of the pricing, and they also have organic food as well. And then, of course, with my Amex Platinum, I have Walmart delivery. I've shopped at Whole Foods before for specific things, but I don't really go there that much. Not only that, it's on Woodruff Road, and I don't like going through all that traffic neither. I would actually have to say, rules, probably 30% of the bodybuilding community is gay. No joke. And probably about 50% of them, if you combine gay and gay for pay and other things that would be considered trying to attract the gay community, I would say that's at 50 to 60%. So, yeah. As Bob Triccarello says, it's only gay if you want it to be. Well, Andrew, everybody in Canada has disability. I mean, has a disability check. Remember, Canada is a socialist society, so everyone has free health care and free this and that. So there's really no need for a disability or anything like that because you can. He's in Canada. I don't have any problems with. I mean, yeah, Pug man, yeah. KCB, I just prefer not to be around tripe or anything. I understand that French restaurants because I eat at a lot of French restaurants here. I mean, that's the only other language I actually know other than English is French. But I'm kind of rusty at my French. I took 2 years of French in high school. I used to be really good at it when I was practicing with it. But I'll probably get one of those Rosetta courses, and it'll come back to me in maybe a week or two. It's just I've not had any opportunity to do French. Now, if I do catch up, then I'll start doing French videos. Well, Pug man, that's what you get for not drinking coffee. I'm just messing with you. I'm actually still tired from my workout, as well as it's been kind of busy for the past week or so. Normally I wouldn't be so busy, but I've been working on a number of new projects. And then, of course, I got all these interviews as well I got to do. Well, Fernandez, if you're at a Greek restaurant, save some baklava for me. I've never met Jay Masters Quick Pump. If Jay Masters was in trouble and he needed a place to crash, I would suppose I would let him sleep on the couch as long as he didn't uh, mess up the place or anything like that, you know. I mean, as long as I know that someone's not going to go and try to kill me in my sleep, that's perfectly fine, you know. Remember, folks, no matter what someone says, now, Jay Masters, he said a lot of racist stuff about me or so forth. But you have to remember, it's important to be a it's important to be a good person there, you know. If someone is in trouble or so forth, it's important as a human being to help them out when they're in need, actually. So, if Jay Masters is sourly and as racist as he is, if he was actually in some serious trouble and he needed a place to crash, I would actually let him crash. I would not want him to stay over the house, you know, or anything like that. But, you know, that's what being a humanitarian is all about there, Quick Pump. But good question. Muslim, being a Muslim isn't a sin. You know, and I don't want to get too religious or anything like that. But you know, what I consider sin is just simple human behavior. Everyone sins. Uh, everyone makes mistakes here. Uh, Stop trolling, rules, okay? Stop trolling. I don't kick anyone off or anything. I just simply ignore them. But no one gets kicked off my channels or get banned whatsoever. Pugman, because I wasn't on gear for too long, my testosterone levels recovered. But for the past couple of years, they've been going way down. You know, way down. So I may actually. So chances are, I know the last doctor visit I had, my endocrine system is pretty screwed up. And my thyroid is a little messed up as well. So that's what steroids do to you there. I think it's due to steroid use there. Even though I've not taken anything in 20 years, actual steroids, don't forget I did take Delta 6 methyl testosterone for the Night of Champions. I think that's what really caused all the damage there. You know, technically it's a pro hormone, but really it's a steroid. So that stuff really messed me up pretty bad. It's one of the reasons why I haven't competed as well, because of all the stuff I took for that show. And believe me, I took some really... Half the stuff I took for that show is now banned. It's illegal. Including the diet pills and stuff. Just ignore him, Andrew. I've been doing that. You notice I've not answered any of his questions. I'm not going to ban him or anything. I'm not going to kick him off there, but he's just trolling at this point, you know. ZXV, you can stay on this channel all you want, but it's pointless to ask questions at this hour since you've been trolling a bunch. So... See, now look what you made me do. You made me put a cigar one out. Well, yes, Scatman, of course. Elton John, and I did sing in front of a mirror with Elton John and George Michael. I did that practically with any MTV video that came up there, you know. The one I did most was pour some sugar on love. Pour some sugar on love. I like it hard and sweet from my head to my feet. Yeah. I probably butchered the song, but you know what I mean, you know. But I was a kid, you know. Kids do that. You know, that's when MTV was actually a music television. Yes, Quick Pump, I went to a bunch of wrestling shows. Remember, back in the 80s and 90s, there was no internet. There was, no one didn't have VCRs, really. VCRs were kind of expensive in the hood, you know. I didn't get a VCR until I actually got my own place, actually. Well, no, actually, I take that back. We got a VCR in 93, but, you know, most people went out to the movies and stuff, and we went to live wrestling shows, you know. And we went out and played. We didn't really go and play video games that much, you know. We had video games, but we went to the mall to play arcade games because the arcade games were always better than, you know, the games you played at home. At this point in time, that's not the case anymore because video games are better than, you know, and that's why there's no more arcades. I mean, there are a couple of arcades, but they're like vintage purposes. There's actually an arcade now in Asheville. You pay $10 and you can play all the games you want. I absolutely hated Buzz Sawyer. Tommy Rich was pretty cool. I mean, I like this wrestling. I never liked Buzz Sawyer. How can you not like rugged Ronnie Garvin there, KCB? Come on, man. Now, Ronnie Garvin may not have been as dynamic as Ric Flair. He was one of the, but you know, he was a pretty good hook, what we called in wrestling terms a hooker. I'm not talking about someone that walks down the street prostituting themselves. But Ronnie Garvin was a great technical wrestler. And I like Jimmy Garvin too, and everyone always looked at Precious, you know. Even I like Precious, you know. Well, Rules, Scatman would actually lose because I would jump in for Pugman and whip on him there, you know. That's what you get, Scatman, for not making donations. I'm just messing there. No, Raul, I don't think he's cute. Mm. Rob, women have been wearing yoga pants for many years. It's a lazy outfit, and I've seen men wear yoga pants as well. I mean, that's just it's just loungewear, you know. And I've not seen nothing wrong with that, you know. It does make themselves look more curvier, you know. But yeah, yoga pants is just I call it lazy wear. I mean, I can crip walk and moonwalk actually. Moonwalking is pretty easy. Crip walk it takes a little bit difficulty, but I can do it. How much to smoke a blunt with me? I don't smoke marijuana. You can smoke a cigar with me for free, you know, if you're at a cigar lounge. It's good that it's not good to space it. You should actually do it back to back there. There's no. I wouldn't space it out there. That's just a waste of time. Well, of course not, Jim Rat. That's why I mentioned if I had some sort of inkling that I was going to get murdered in my sleep, of course I wouldn't let him stay over. He would have to have a really good reason to, you know, a really good reason. Well, I'm going to say this again, KCB. In this case, I wouldn't let Hemingway come over my place at all. He's a very dangerous individual, in my opinion. He is someone that would probably try to kill me in my sleep. Jay Masters, I don't think he would. Well, yes, I've driven a semi before. My dad was a truck driver for like 50 years, so yeah, I've driven a semi before. So I can drive a 18 wheeler. I've never got licensed or anything, but yeah, I can drive one. And it doesn't have to be automatic. It could be stick shift. I can drive stick shift as well. But I've never owned a stick shift car. I've always had an automatic. Trolling didn't ruin the Misfits. It's just that everybody wanted the spotlight too much. Everyone wanted the fame. Uh, Everyone wanted their own individuality. no different than a music band. Like the Commodores, for example, Lionel Richie wanted to go out on his own, Then you have Bret Michaels and stuff. Smoking does help with depression, but I wouldn't smoke cigarettes. They got way too many chemicals in it. I think I'm about to burn my hand with this, so for you, Pugman, Purple Flame is about to go out. And remember, folks, twist it. Don't jab it. Scatman, as far as Bravo is concerned, I'm not a believer in cosmetic surgery. If Bravo wants to go get a nose job or get enhancements or anything, remember it's his life, and it's not my right to go and decide how he lives his life as well as anyone else's. That's with steroids or anything. It's not my job also for someone to believe something that I actually do. Raul, that wasn't its original intended purposes for VHS players, so no. Lenny's dad was wrong! 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 I mean, it's the same thing with the internet. It wasn't built for porn, but now it's the reason why. I guess it's the reason for the expansion of people owning computers is because of porn. Let's just call it the way it is. Well, yes, trolls are very important to have there. And this is a piss trooper channel for the most part, so I mean, I don't mind trolls at all there. You're free to ask me any homoerotic, homosexual questions there. Some of them, of course, naturally I won't answer if it's a troll, but it's always been, people are curious about it and stuff like that. It's like something mystical or something. I don't see it as anything really. I don't get discounts at the grocery store or anything. Well, Jump Tube, Ronnie Garvin was also an airline pilot as well. Both of them actually knew how to fly. And Jimmy Garvin, I think he still flies for his for Christian Ministries. Jimmy Garvin's a good guy. I've always liked it. He was a great performer in wrestling and a good person. And he's been with his wife for like 50 years. He's just a good guy. I like him. Twerk walking, I have no clue with that. Well, Pugman, I would go to the humidor, and you're welcome to have any one of my hand rolled Dominican cigars. You can even do the purple flame up here with the camera and all. So that's actually why I hooked back up the camera, because I knew you missed the. Not just you, a lot of people missed that purple flame thing. So I hooked back up the camera. I had a new HD camera, but I went and sent it back. 7845. No, you do not inhale cigars here. You know, you inhale. Well, you swish it around your mouth and you blow it out, but it doesn't go in your lungs. Never. Well, yes, I do listen to Prince. He was a great artist, you know. I mean, pretty much everyone knew he was going to die of some sort of drug overdose. Scatman, it's due to the camera, actually. When I left Verizon, I just dug out my old camera that I had. But you have to remember, this type of camera is the model of it is like over 10 years old. It's a pretty old camera. It's a cheap camera too, so. But that's why it's purple. But most of the time I use this camera, other than doing the live streams, I use it for any type of Zoom meetings here. I actually had to I had a dentist appointment in November, but because my insurance doesn't kick in, I have to wait until March. But I've always kept my teeth pretty clean anyway. But yes, I go to the dentist regularly. No, I'd probably never do a 7-hour live stream. Oh, you're good, rules. You know, but if you ever if anyone gets to a point to where the questions have no real material on it there, then I usually just ignore them at this point. But I don't throw or ban anyone off. It's important to have trolls on your channel, no doubt about it there, so. But if you're asking questions which pisses off the other people that are viewing, then yeah, that's going to be a problem there. So the thing about it is, you're more than welcome to troll me, when it comes to asking questions. But if you start pissing off any of the people that's in the chat itself, then that's when I have a problem. But good question there, so. I mean, some people like Richard or Vegan Gains or so forth. Or Blaha, they hate trolls and they just want to keep their channel. But you have to understand the nature of any type of live streams or shows. It's like I said, by nature, I'm a comedian, and I've done a few comedy shows. And in a comedy show, there's always going to be hecklers there. So I see a live stream no different than, when someone's trolling, I see it the same as a heckler. So you treat it as such. Sometimes hecklers are actually good for comedians there. Because they're talking so much there, it gives me an opportunity to nail them in the keister, Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. And yes, homo, so. Bad Street USA, that's just a term. There's no actual bad street. If you're smoking weed, yes, you're gonna inhale. So that's the purpose of doing that. So. Well, protein bra, I don't like hanging around people that smoke weed because it smells pretty bad, When I smoke a cigar, it lights up the room, and stuff. Maybe not for the young folks here, but it has my cigars have a very nice aroma to it. And my pipe tobacco especially my Cavendish, My best drink in the house right now is some Scotch whiskey. I've not had an opportunity to go buy any more brandy. I may buy some next week. So, because I'm not working at Verizon, my my bar has actually gone way down. I've not restocked in a number of things. I just needed a break from everything because, when I left my job, I don't have to eat out or go out with friends anymore. Plus, again, I'm trying to lose weight as well, and I've not been partying as much. So there's no need for me to go out at this point in time because I'm not doing work meetings or anything like that. Yes, the sword you can only get in the swordfish if you make a reservation, but yes, you can wear jeans there. The Swordfish Club has had toga parties before. Scat man. No, that's not why we got divorced. See, this is the trolling I actually like there, so, and I'm not going to answer your other question, Raul. I'm a top, so just. Yeah, I guess Richard is there, so, oh well. No, I'll be sure to pour you a glass here, Pugman, so. But yeah, you need trolls on your channels there. A comedian needs its hecklers too. So. Well, I've wrestled with a lot of men and they've gotten drilled, so. But overall, I like watching wrestling there, but, I consider that type of wrestling foreplay. How can that have a fruity smell there, 784? I don't. Any type of weed I've ever smelled was pretty funky there. Whether it's good or bad or anything like that, I never liked it there. I prefer cigars. Not only that, in order to get weed, you got to go to a weed dealer. I'm not trying to get arrested or anything. It's not worth getting arrested for, in my opinion. Now, they have legalized it, and I can get it legally, but again, as I've stated before, I don't really like weed. I think that also part of that stems from working intake at Greenville County because the stuff permeated all through intake there. So I also associate the smell of weed with my old job, as well. Athens, I don't think Lenny would have the ability to pick up my legs and turn me upside down. So no 69. So, folks, you got 13 minutes. Get your questions in if you have them there. So. Well, I've talked about Phil Baroni before, but there's not any other news that's came up. I mean, I'll speak more about him when more details come out about this murder. So, I mean, the only thing I could say right now that he's in jail for murder. And from what I understand, he's admitted to it. I think for the most part, it's an open and shut case, but I think he'll be in prison for the rest of his life. Same with that basketball player. 18 years old there and is arrested for capital murder after he's pretty much after a game or so forth. It's crazy. You know? he decided to take upon a decision that's going to affect the rest of his life, that's going to take away his freedom for the rest of his life. That's why I always say it's best to walk away from fights here, you know. Because here's the thing, you may end up going off on someone, or even worse, you may end up getting shot. So, you know, I had someone honk at me behind when I was driving home, and I just ignored him. You know, it's very hard to, and it's possible that one day I may blow my top at someone there, but it's best that I keep control, as well as all of you folks. Folks, just when someone's honking at you or so forth, just drive away there. You know, if they're following you around or so forth, just keep driving. Drive to a police station if you have to. Because you never know what someone's got on them, It's just not worth it. Well, whatever you say, 784. I'm not going to go to a shop there. I'm going to go to a cigar lounge and pick out my cigar, I like cigars. I don't like marijuana. COPD from smoking. Raul, something's going to kill you one of these days, I would, stress will kill you a lot quicker than a cigar. The good thing about cigars is it allows me to relax. It helps with any type of depressing situation that you actually have. I think if Richard actually smoked and had a cigar every once in a while and had a drink, he wouldn't be in such a bad disposition, as he is now. No, Mike Hawks, I'm afraid not. I mean, my video was actually already limited before I got even on this show, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But one thing's for sure, I can no longer play the Sanford and Son or the Tom and Jerry remixes. It's heart disease, essentially. Athens is what that is. Well, no, wait a minute. COPD. That's lung disease, actually. Well, technically lung and heart, because it affects both of them. Well, Mike, I already had something long, thick, and brown, and that was a cigar. I don't know what else you're thinking of. Get your mind out the gutter. No, him eating meat ain't gonna help out his situation. It has nothing to do with him being a vegan. Well, if you're beginning with cigars, you need to measure your level. I would always start with a Connecticut. That's a light cigar, and then if it's not strong enough for you, move to something like a Maduro or a stronger cigar. That one I smoked as a medium. Yes, you get nicotine. That's why you swish it around in your mouth there, so that way you get your little nicotine there in. I don't swish it around too much so I can minimize it, but yeah. Max lifts on the big three, 395 bench, maybe 400 squat. I don't know what the other three. What's the other third one? Bicep curl. All I always thought about is just benching and squatting. Rows I never really counted much. I did 200s or deadlifts. Oh, okay. Deadlifts, that's what it is. Deadlifts, I did about 300. I wasn't really strong with that. Athens, I've been on Rumble before. There's a lot of negativity up there and a lot of white supremacists. When I went on Rumble, it was sort of like Stormfront. Well, I went to Irwin High School, Mike. So yeah, I've tried dip before, and I've tried snus. Dip is a little bit too messy. Oh, the good old Al Capone cigarettos. I remember those. I think, do they still got those? Yeah, Michael Jordan's a big cigar smoker. I've smoked his brands before, and but he gets those big, nice little Cuban cigars. But like I said, smoking. I mean, having a cigar is very relaxing. The Swordfish isn't a restaurant, so it has finger food for the most part to help soak up the alcohol. But no, it's not a restaurant. It's a drinking establishment. I haven't shot pool in a while. That's something I did a long time ago. But yeah, I was pretty good at pool. I suppose so. 784. I never really kept track of nothing really except for bench presses. Nowadays, if I bench press, I just do reps of 225, which is the NFL standard for reps. No, Rumble's a lot different than YouTube. I just don't like Rumble. A movement that I don't like doing in the gym, actually, I still do it there. Probably would be shoulder presses or pull downs. They really hurt my shoulders when I do that, but I still do it anyway because you still got to keep yourself in shape. I mean, you got to work out every body part, even exercises that you don't like. I've already met fans there, Jim Rat. There was a local show in Greenville, and I met a lot of people from Get Big. Favorite pizza spot in my area? Usually I've always had Domino's here, but if I'm going to have pizza, I would probably go to Ink and Ivory, actually. Oh, yeah, I still got plenty of R. Kelly's music there, Lamar. No, Swordfish only carries top shelf liquor, no cheap stuff. No bottom of the barrel. They only carry the highest quality, you know, as well as any types of wines as well. What do I do for my back? Rows, upright rows, and just regular standard barbell rows. Nothing fancy. Yeah, Athens. That's the way things are. But I can understand Athens censorship because part of the a lot of channels like YouTube have advertisers. And advertisers, they don't want to have their advertisements by someone that's showing their wee wee or anything or cursing a whole bunch. Now, they have lowered the rules as far as cursing. I can't curse within 8 seconds of a video because I'll get demonetized. But this live stream for some reason was demonetized whenever I actually started it, which is kind of weird. But I'm not going to dispute it as well because I don't really do much as far as live streams as far as views are concerned. Because whenever I do a live stream, it doesn't have much replay value to begin with. But good question. I prefer thin crust there if I'm going to eat a pizza, James, but I rarely eat pizzas anymore. In my family, when it comes to age, as we grow older in age, we don't eat as much food. So I really don't eat like I used to. But still got to kill the safety fat there, so. Well, probably not protein, but someone that came with that stuff probably would be told once they left not to come back there dressed like that, you know. Yeah, YouTube is, you know, it is. Uh, it's worse for us YouTube creators because it's really hard at this point in time to put out the mints without getting slapped over the wrist or anything. That's why I have my website for, to where I can put banned videos on there. Yeah, and comments are shadow banned, not on my website. I mean, it needs a moderator's approval, but most of the time I approve most of them. But that's the reason why I've always said always have your own website in the event something happens. I have a couple of videos that's going to come out, but it's only going to be exclusive to my website. Rusty Trumba, get your mind out of the gutter. So it is now 10 o'clock. So we're going to play a little bit of outro music. Yes, sir. All right, folks. That's the end of the show. No, I've not tried GHB. I want to thank my buddy Pugman. He always looks out for me. I also want to thank VKDM and why is that doing that for? Well, everyone that's actually donated, I definitely appreciate it. I also want to thank everyone that's tuned in to the show. Remember, Friday is going to be the midnight run at 10 o'clock p.m. I hope you also tune in. And once again, this is the great one, the VINCE. To you all, I want to say peace and soul.